Why do avoidant exes pretend to not care but actually regret losing you? These are the 5 ways, and the first is that they have been trained to suppress their emotions. As you probably know, when it comes to an avoidant, this stems back from when they were young. They did not get their emotional needs met by their caregivers, and because of this, they've essentially adopted this avoidant attachment style. And this is something that has been carried on throughout their entire existence up until now. So, as you can imagine, they have built this fortress that has caused them to not only keep emotions out that they don't want, but to suppress those down. So, whenever they do get an emotion that they don't want to experience, like regret, they're not going to express that. They rather just do everything in their powers to suppress that down and never really tell you this, because if they do, they're going to have to address some uncomfortable emotions and be vulnerable. So they will not tell you, even though the signs can be there, right? You know that you are the best thing to happen to this avoidant, and they do too in some way or some form. But again, they are not going to show the regret in potentially losing you entirely, because that will essentially cause them to feel those emotions that are unwanted. Which leads perfectly into reason number 2, and that is they want to maintain a sense of control. Avoidants are always wanting to maintain this facade, right? They want to control every little aspect, because in doing so, they know that they don't have to experience or deal with any unexpected emotions or things happening. And when it comes to feeling regret or trying to express that to you, they know that there is going to be some unpredicted emotions that's going to come out of not only them, but you as well. So they're not going to be able to control that, and that essentially scares them, right? They always want to maintain control in all aspects. But to them, when they're able to not express that emotions, they can pretty much know what to expect here, because they know that they're not going to get a reaction out of you that's unexpected, and they know in themselves that they can keep things as usual because they're not expressing these emotions. Even though it is still there, they're just doing everything in their power to suppress that down. Number 3 is that they expect you to chase after them. This tends to be a big thing when it comes to an avoidant, because they've had some real life evidence that you are going to do that. Now, this isn't a knock on you. This is just more of what you are doing in the relationship, in that you were trying to make things work, right? You were trying to do everything in your powers to accommodate for them and to really just get them to see how much you value not only them, but the relationship. And so you were going along with this, and a part of you was trying to walk on eggshells and not have this avoidant attachment style come up, in the sense of them pulling away from you or being hostile or just telling you that you're the reason why they can't express emotions and they just become cold. Whatever that might be, you were just trying to show your love and care and commitment to them in the relationship. But they didn't take it that way. They took it as evidence that they can continue to be this way and you are always going to be available. So in a sense here, they feel like you are constantly chasing them, because that's how it kind of presents to them. So in this moment, they are thinking that you are going to, at some point in time, break and chase after them and try to see what they're doing and work things out and all these different things, and they really are confident about that happening. So because of this, they use this to make themselves feel good and suppress that regret that they might start to feel when they notice that you're not reaching out to them, which leads perfectly into number 4, and that is they distract themselves to not feel regret. This is essentially where they are out doing everything that they possibly can to not even think about regretting losing you, right? They are out there hanging out with other people. You may even see them getting into a rebound relationship. Whatever that might look like for them, they are trying to do everything in their powers to avoid thinking about losing you. And because of that, they don't really address this regret that they're feeling, right? Whenever this comes up, they are going to act right away. They're not going to sit around and just contemplate about how they may lose you and how they're feeling regret about it and try to do something about it, right? They are going to do everything to just go out with other people, whatever it might be for them. They are going to do whatever they can to distract themselves and not ever deal with that emotion. This tends to be what they can do for a very long time, right? They are very, very good at doing this because they had to for a very long time growing up. This alone tends to be why it delays this regret that they're going to inevitably experience. And number 5 is that they fear reaching out to you and getting rejected. This essentially scares them them the most out of all of these things, right? An avoidant does not want to get rejected at all, because being rejected in any capacity to any human is a big blow to them, right? You are going to experience a lot of negative emotions, especially when you're being vulnerable with someone, right? And this is one of their biggest fears, that they're going to go up to you and tell you how they regret losing you and that they know they made a mistake. And then you're going to turn around and tell them, I don't care. I'm all set. Like, this is a little bit too late now. And this is to them that they will do everything in their power to avoid, right? They dread being vulnerable, and especially having someone have a negative response to that. So because of that, they don't even want to entertain this reality. So they tend to use this as a last resort to cause them to never express that regret to you. And this leads perfectly into what I hope you can take away from this video, and that is, you cannot control whether this person is ever going to feel regret or actually open up for you, right? You need to take this at face value and understand that, because again, like I said, they could really have this down pat to where they will never express that regret to you, right? They may express it in some way or some form to get you reeled back in, but once they feel comfortable in the relationship, they'll go right back to their avoidant attachment style and just show you how they didn't really regret losing you, because they didn't do anything to try to work through things and actually make sure that the relationship can last. And this is something that you really have to look at and understand, because the more that you just wait around for this person to actually show this regret and want to make the changes that is needed, it's going to be potentially so long. And even if that even happens, and that's why it's so important for you to figure out what is best for you here. And chances are the best thing for you is to figure out what you need to do to heal and move on from this. I hope you did enjoy today's video. If you did, please make sure to hit that like button. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.